Hello, beautiful people, kings and queens, entrepreneurs and dreamers. Welcome to another interesting episode here at the Exceed Real Vibe podcast, the home of bold conversations, smart investments, real talk about life, family, leadership, entrepreneurship, all the content of business and purpose. I am your host, Jennifer Igwe, aka the Content Queen. Today, we are going to be talking about a very transformational topic. I bet you this podcast will transform your life. The topic is purpose-driven living, aligning your life to your core values. The question is, what is core value? What are your core values? What are the core values you need in life to live purposely? Let's find out in this podcast. We meet today to discuss this vital topic is a dynamic public speaker. He is a visionary business owner, and permit me to add that he is a man of God. Someone that I believe has a calling of God upon his life. Somebody say hallelujah. He is a man that has a passion for excellence and transformation, and of course this helps him drive businesses, empowers individuals, all to the goal of building a sustainable global community. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark David Ekpete.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good to have you, sir. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure.
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much. Are you guys ready? Tighten your seatbelt. It's going to be a very smooth and lovely flight. Now let's go. So, sir, before we go into what we have, usually we do this. You're gonna give us a brief history about yourself, like tell us a bit about yourself in few sentences. Tell us, who is Mark David Ekpete? People want to know who is this man that is about to tell them something transformational. So can we know you? Can we meet you more than just your name?
Okay. Just as we all know, my name is Mark David Ekpete.
Okay.
And I'm a management consultant and executive trainer. I love to teach. And I love to impact lives. I love to transform lives. And basically, I would say that I discovered my purpose very early in life, which is to be a teacher. And this has been who I have been, the passion to teach, the passion to impact knowledge has been I've been doing all my life.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh wow, that means I was not wrong when I said you're a man of God. Of course, man of God in the marketplace. This is amazing, guys. Hope you're ready. Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure having you once again. Okay, so now let's move into what we have. Regarding the topic we have today, purpose-driven living, aligning your life to your core values. I would like to begin by asking, what does it really mean for someone to live a purpose-driven life? You know, in your own words, what do you think it is? When someone is living a purpose-driven life, what does it mean to you? What does it mean in your words?
Okay, this is a very important topic that we as human beings, especially someone that wants to live a life of meaning, a life of legacy, cannot do without discovering and living his or her purpose. Living a purpose-driven life is simply living a meaningful and a sense of value. So your life will have to be lived not just carelessly, but with intentionality, with direction and clear vision in life. So this is what it means. So you live anything you do with passion. Anything you do with sense of clarity of vision is pointing you towards your purpose in life. You know, life has no meaning without purpose. You may have money, you may have businesses, you may have relationships and all of that, but once you don't have a sense of purpose in your life has no meaning. You will feel this emptiness in your life.
No fulfillment.
No fulfillment. Okay. Now that is why someone said that life without purpose is not worth living. Life without purpose.
So that Miles Moore.
Yeah, life without purpose is not worth living. Of course, Miles Moore said that when purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. Now, let me give you an example. Okay. Now, this phone, for instance, is meant for calls, right? But the phone is heavy, right? So I may see a mango tree because I love mango, and I may decide to use this to stone the mango. Does that make... Is that what the phone is meant for? No, of course. So that is why abuse is inevitable.
Yeah.
But someone who have never seen phone all his life, might just see this phone maybe lying somewhere, maybe someone forgot it there, and the person now saw a mango and decide to use this to pluck the mango.
And the mango will actually follow.
The mango will fall, of course, but it's not meant for the mango.
Exactly.
Do you understand?
Exactly.
Now, this is what most of us do all our life.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have purpose, you're just available for any other person to use you for their own fulfillment of their own purpose. Without purpose, your life is empty. Your life has no meaning.
Wow. Without purpose, your life is empty. Your life has no meaning. Oh my God, this is profound. And that was the next question. Okay, our topic talked about aligning your life to your core values. I don't talk about purpose. There is a way core value connects with purpose, right? Because I believe core values are more like a foundation that drives you into what you do, into your vision, into your goals, into your aspiration, all of that. So how can someone begin to identify their core values? I believe that core values and purpose are intertwined, right? So how can someone begin to identify their core values so they can align it to their life and their purpose?
Now, before you come to core values, as someone living a purpose-driven life, there are two things that you should bear in mind. One, clarity of vision. Two, a deep sense of meaning.
Okay.
You just have to, these are just like the two legs you have to stand as someone that is living a purpose-driven life.
Yeah.
Now, the core values are like a compass, the things that gives you a principle to live by. For instance, your core value of a purpose-driven life, one is legacy. All right. Now, have you ever heard when someone says he left his foot in the sands of time? Have you ever heard that?
Yes.
Now, there's no one who has ever lived a purpose-driven life who have never left his foot or her foot in the sand of time. So core values are like principles that you live by. It's something that gives you a compass, something that helps you to live an intentional life. Because there's no purpose-driven life without without a strong intentionality. So you don't live your life anyhow. There are places that you cannot be found if you are living a particular purpose. For instance, let's say that you are called to be a priest in Catholic Church, or you are called to be a pastor in Pentecostal Church, and you discover this early in life. It helps you not to follow other kids to go and learn how to smoke, go and learn how to pursue women, go and learn how to do all of that, because you discovered your purpose quite early in life. So it takes you straight to the life that God have created you to live. Understand?
Yeah.
So this helps you. It's not that those things are bad for other people, but it's actually very bad for you.
For your calling, for
your purpose. Yeah. Now, having said that, you know that purpose is calling.
Is there any way goal and purpose mean the same thing?
Absolutely. They don't per se mean the same thing.
Okay.
But there's no purpose-driven life without goals.
Okay.
That is why when you go to seminar, they will teach you that there is a long-term goal, right?
Yeah.
Short, mid-term goal, then short-term goals. Now, a long-term goal is actually where you're headed. All right. It could be 60 years. Your 60 years, you at your 60, you at your 60, exactly. So long-term goal is quite it's like your vision in life. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Your dream. That is a long-term goal. Now, without purpose, you cannot set a correct goal for yourself.
Okay.
It takes purpose for you to know the goal to set for yourself. It's when you have identified your purpose, that is when your goals has meaning. Without, not that anybody cannot set goal. Anybody can actually set goal. Do you understand? But not the same thing. If you set goal without purpose, there's chances that you are going to even leave that goal, pursue something else that you think that is more exciting. But what makes a purpose-driven person go to be meaningful, because they know that this is who they are. All right. This is what resonates with them. This is what they have passion for. This is a legacy they want to leave behind. Right. So they pursue it. They are consistent. So that is what brought me now to the core value you asked.
Yeah.
So the core value, you talk about consistency, you talk about integrity, you talk about authenticity, you talk about originality, because as a purpose-driven person, you live your life not like every other person. It could just be only you that is living a particular life in your street or even in your industry. Do you understand? You see that you're living a different life altogether, and you don't apologize for it, because this is who you are. You know that this is who you are, and you know where you're going to in life.
And you maintain the standard.
You maintain. So, in a nutshell, your core values are a compass that directs you to live a principled life in line with your purpose.
Okay.
All right.
So, in essence, your purpose determines the kind of core values you adopt in life.
Definitely. You know, there are different core values is listed. When you talk about business, there are core values for business. When you talk about churches, there are core values for church growth. When you talk about career, there are core values for career. Core values for career are not the same thing for core values for a business owner. They are two different things.
Even some businesses still have different core values.
Even some businesses have different core values. Sometimes they recycle the same. Maybe this person's because they talk about professionalism, excellence, customer satisfaction, and the rest of that. So these are core values. Core values in a nutshell are things that you value.
Okay.
Do you understand? That takes you to your purpose or to your destination.
Okay. Amazing. Now, I brought up this core value question so that we could, I believe it gave us more foundation to elaborate more on purpose. Now, I want to ask, how can people are watching, people are eager to know, a lot of people are yet to discover their purpose in life. They're just there, doing so many things. Some are even making money. I remember I saw a movie, and I believe it happens in real life. Somebody said he left the UK to come back to Nigeria, to start up a new life entirely. Why? When the friend asked, he said that over there in UK was not fulfilling. He was the money, he goes to work, he's making good money, making cool money, but every day he feels empty, right? And now that resonates to the fact that there is no fulfillment in what he's doing. There's no purpose actually when the life he's living. So that he came back to Nigeria and he's actually becoming more happy. He comes back home, even if the money he's making here is not as much as he makes in UK, but there is this joy and peace in his heart. So I want to ask, how can someone discover their purpose in life?
Good question. Let me say this. Everyone who has significance in life, everyone who have a fulfilling life is a very deep spiritual person. You cannot live a fulfilled life without being a deep spiritual person. You understand that? Now, the only person that knows your purpose is God.
Because he's the one that created
you. He's the one that created you. Now, this does not mean that Muslims, Hindus, and other religious communities does not discover their purpose, right? But mind you that these people still have deep spiritual people among their community
that they consult.
Do you understand? Either consult or then they say live a deep, fulfilling and spiritual life. All right. Now, what makes you to discover your purpose, or how can you discover your purpose? First of all, get close to God, right? The Bible says, draw near to me and I will draw near to you, right? Now, it's only God that can expose to you your purpose, your passion, the compassion. Now, your passion, your compassion is pointing you towards your purpose. Now, what is passion and what is compassion? Compassion is when you are doing something without expecting anything in return. You could actually do it with tears. You could actually do it without even enjoying it. I don't understand what I mean. That is compassion. Yes. With compassion, you can give somebody your last meal where you have stayed hungry for 3 days and someone just gave you 1,500 to just buy food and eat, and you now see someone else hungry who have not eaten. Do you understand? Even throughout the day, or even stayed more hungry than you were staying. Do you understand? So remember, you stay hungry for 3 days.
Yeah, someone just shows up.
Somebody else shows up. Probably he has not eaten throughout the day, but you're a very compassionate person. You just carry that money or that food and give to the person. You did that with pain. You didn't enjoy doing it. I don't understand. Now, passion is when you enjoy doing something. Probably someone like me that enjoy teaching, I can do it for free. I can remember the first time we consulted for a company and they were asking me and my colleague then how much. We've never collected money from any company doing that. So we enjoy organizing seminars, conferences, and all of that. So someone recommended us to this organization. So when we met the MD, The man was, okay, so how much is your fare? Because I want you guys to train my staff. So I will send them from all over Nigeria. You know, some are coming from Lagos, some are coming from Abuja, some are coming from Ibadan, some are coming from Owerri, some are coming from Edo. So, and how much is your fee? And we have never done that before. Do you get?
Yeah.
Because we enjoy doing it. Now, if you ask musicians when they were starting, they will enjoy to perform. Now you see them calling that they pay them thousands of dollars or millions of dollars to perform. When they were coming up, they are still good then, but they could do it for free.
Yeah.
In fact, they could even pay
To do.
it, but nobody gave them the platform.
Yeah.
So that's what passion does for you. So passion is what you enjoy doing that you can actually do for free. Okay, so there are two different things. Now, what does these two does for you? These are the two things that fuels your purpose. These are the two things that fuels who you are. These are the two things that gives your life meaning and fulfillment. Anything that you are doing without compassion and passion is a waste.
Okay.
Do you understand? Is a waste in your own authentic self. Someone might be using you, right? Government, maybe you are living in UK or US, you go to work and come back. Do you understand? So you make a lot of money to pay your bills and take care of your family. You are doing that just for doing sake because of, except you have passion for, you're a family-oriented person. I mean, your family is one of your core values. Exactly. So you can do that. Of course, it could be on the area of compassion. You have compassion for your family. You want to work and make sure that they are taken good care of. All right. So these are the things. Now, how do you discover your purpose? Check where your passion and your compassion is pointing you to.
Okay.
What activate the compassion in you? Do you understand? What would you see in life? You know, for instance, teachers, once they see ignorant child, right, they feel this compassion. Man, this child can do better. How come you are 10 years you can't read? Do you understand what I mean? So they were like, you are 10 years and you mean you can't read? There's this compassion, not passion. There's this compassion. Or you see some pastors who pray for people and they get healed. It's not that they are wonderful, but the compassion in them propels them to pray for the person and the person receives healing. Do you understand? Now, people, compassion can be in entrepreneurs when they see a gap in the marketplace, or they were like, okay, can't I expand my business so I can employ more people so that many families that are working with me can have something to, eat, take home every month. So these are compassion, right? Then the other angle is passion. To be doing something that energizes your passion. Maybe someone like you that I think you call yourself a content queen, right? Yeah, as a content queen, this is what you enjoy doing. So you put all the effort, the sleepless night, developing yourself to make sure that you do it well, so that it's no longer going to be a self-acclaimed content queen, but everyone, not just in Nigeria, not just in Africa, but all over the world, we identify as a content queen. It's a passion, not compassion, right? Do you cry when you're doing it?
Sometimes.
All right, that is that. But first of all, go to God. Act of alignment with God is act of alignment with yourself. God lives in you. So anytime you don't feel God in you, you're out of alignment with your purpose. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, He's the one that knows you best. And one thing about you aligning with God is that He makes the journey shorter for you.
Definitely.
Yeah, you don't need to run around, try and errors,
Honestly.
He will be the one to show you your manuscript. He made you. He will show you, even at a point that he will even tell you the kind of course to read. There's a lot of us read different courses and they're not in any way directed to what we are doing in life. And most of us, after becoming, we still go back to go and study a course that relates to our marketplace,
That brought me, I was speaking in a conference some time ago, and I was telling them that it is your purpose that determines the course you read.
Some people don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you discover your purpose on time.
Yeah. This is so transformational. So I want to ask you a very personal question. You discovered your purpose in life and you're working towards it. Have there been any time where you felt like walking out of that purpose? Has there been any time you felt like a turn off in it?
Definitely. Definitely.
Okay.
Just what I mentioned earlier is just like a personal experience. When you know that this is where you should be going, but it's gonna take you time to make money. I don't understand. You knew that if you can persist to get there, you will make the money, but it's gonna take your time. Now, not that we are trying to take a shortcut where we're going to do people or do anything to make money, but we just feel that in men, you should just do something.
There are other things I can.
Yeah, there are other things that are easier. Now, let me tell you, purpose is actually very difficult to live by. Very difficult. Yeah, that is why people who live their purpose or who live an intentional life don't behave anyhow. It's a very difficult life to live by.
More of a principled life.
Very principled.
Yeah.
There are things you cannot just do. There are things that your conscience cannot just allow you to do. For instance, do you know that lounge, hotels, beer parlors and all of that gives a lot of money? But there are people who have the money to start that business, but they can never do it.
Yeah. I actually have one client actually.
Yeah, they can never do it because of their principles, because of their purpose, because of their core values. Okay. Now, personally, I have had several times that, man, if I had followed my purpose, I would be in a different position today. But of course, you can disalign, align, and all of that. But always make sure. Now, another thing that we could talk about when we're talking about purpose is a consistent reinvention, self-reinvention. There's always a time that you come back to who you are. I say no, don't think that. I think I'm drifting. Drifting. Anytime you see yourself drifting, come back to the core of who you are. Reinvent yourself again. Align and realign again with your purpose.
Okay. So, how do you stay grounded? It's just by coming back, like. How do you stay grounded back to that purpose?
By observing your core values and living by the principle of your core values.
Wow.
If anytime you don't live by the principle of your core values, you are drifting.
Oh, wow. Wow. Now, this is it. I was hoping he says that, and he just did. That is why, even as a business owner, as a brand, as a human being, have your core values.
Yeah.
I spoke with someone, I had a conversation with someone some weeks ago, and the person said something. He said, one of the things that make him not to deviate is his core values. Like, he writes them down, and every morning he recites it.
Exactly.
As an affirmation.
Exactly.
He recites it, and whenever he wants to do anything that is not right, he had that affirmation he keeps about his core value, reflects back on him.
Exactly.
And he doesn't make that mistake, he doesn't do that stuff.
Core value helps you not to even think so much to make decision. Do you understand? It helps you to make decision very quick. For instance, one of your core values as a purpose-driven person is integrity, is honesty. So anything that will make you to lie or to live a dishonest life, don't even have to think twice. As long as you know that once you do this, you're not being honest.
Yes.
Once you do this, you're not being truthful. Not even have to say, okay, but can I just do it?
Yeah.
So
because the money will come out or something.
Or something.
So answer a good
exactly.
question.
Do you understand? So you don't just do it and hope that something good will come out. No, there is always cause and effect. So your values will give you that compass. It will give you that principle to live by. So whatever consequences that comes out of it, you say, God, this is who I am.
Yeah, and you did the right thing.
Yes.
And what about doing the right thing? In the long run, it will pay.
It's definitely
It will pay in the long
definitely
run.
pay.
All right. I hope you are getting a lot of insights from this section. I told you he's a man of God, and here he is dishing some powerful words to you. And if you're someone somewhere, you're asking again about purpose, how you're deviating and all that, this podcast is for you. And then again, that brings me to a question, if not the last for this session. For someone that is feeling stuck in a particular job or in a business or in a lifestyle they are living, deep down in their hearts, they feel, it doesn't about this purpose and calling everything. Deep down in your heart, somehow you feel like, I'm not supposed to be here, this is not me. But you just feel you're stuck, you don't know what to do, you don't know how to go about it. What advice will you give to them?
Okay, it's a place that most of us has been in the past, so it's not totally new. But whenever you see yourself in such a situation, it was Jesus that says that he that saves his life will lose it, right? And him that loses his life will save it. Now, Jesus Christ is a very principled person. When he speaks, he's not just a religious man, but he dishes out principles that helps even the unbelievers, all right, who are intelligent and intentional about their lives. Now, anytime you see yourself in that situation, the next thing you should do is retreat and reinvention. What does retreat mean? Retreat is leave everything you are doing and go into your closet and align with yourself. Be ready to lose everything. Once you're not ready to lose that job, to lose that business, to lose that self, that your lifestyle you've been living, you're not ready to reinvent yourself. So retreat yourself back. Go into your closet. Sometimes it can take you 1 day, sometimes it can take you 3 days, sometimes it can take you 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks, sometimes 3 months, sometimes 6 months,
sometimes 1 year,
sometimes 1 year. Some people even do that for 6 years, 10 years. Can start with 3 days, 21 days. Do you understand? In reinventing yourself, in retreating, and be ready to lose your friends. You cannot say that I don't like the life I'm living, and they're still frolicking with your old friends. They're still taking you to party, taking you to ungodly places and all of that, and you feel that then the business you are doing is not aligning to who you are, and you say because you are making money, you should be ready to lose that money. People have given up businesses that were paying them millions.
Yeah, exactly.
Because money, let me tell you, if you are broke, you think that money will make you happy, but once you make that money, you feel that you are empty, and God help you that money comes from ungodly actions and all
with trauma.
Oh my God, it can mess you up.
Yeah.
So the only way you can actually enjoy your life is living by design, is living a purpose-driven life. You're ready to lose, because if you cannot give up, you cannot go up. If you cannot it was Martin Luther King said that if you are not willing to die for something, you are not ready to live for something.
Wow.
Do you get? So you must be willing to die for something. You must be willing to let go. If you're not willing, nothing for you.
Miles Moore will always say that there is no successful life without a purpose. You can't live a true successful life without purpose. That means money is not the definition of success. Fulfillment is true success, and there is no way you can fulfill the life if you didn't walk in line with your purpose. This is so amazing. And I can't, I just hope and pray that someone watching this podcast will be elevated, will be inspired, will be motivated to go and seek to know their purpose. Just like you said, if you feel stuck in a particular thing, job, lifestyle, business, and all that, retreat. And the good thing about this is that the earlier you start to do that retreating, the better for you. Because you can just be recycling over the years, and then maybe your 40s or your 50s, don't decide to. Of course, God will show you mercy, but then the time cannot be.
No, you cannot live a legacy life. When you talk about that, I remember something that someone says. It says that when you discover that you entered the wrong train, you should stop in the next stop. Because the longer you go, the more expensive the returning tickets will be. So anytime you feel that your life is not in line with your purpose, with who you are, with your conscience. And what is conscience? I think I should mention that now. Conscience is that faculty in you that is connected with the highest That is why people who believe in God, their conscience is in the Word of God. So anything that the Word of God does not align with is what pricks their conscience, is what convinces them. But again, a criminal lives by conscience. A criminal who saw someone that knows him and identified him in a crime scene and did not shoot the person to death. Do you understand? We get back to his base and his conscience will break him for not shooting that person to death. So, conscience is connected to the highest Do you understand? So it could be God, it could be the voice of your parents, it could be the voice of your mentor, it could be the voice of, do you understand? Exactly. So something like that.
Okay, and just the way you mentioned now, can you tell us what role does faith, spirituality, and belief, mentorship as well, what role does these things play in purpose discovery?
Wow, this is wonderful. This is an amazing question. Now let me start with mentorship. Mentorship is identifying someone who has lived the life that you identified as your purpose. All right, and allowing the person to mentor you to live the same life. I don't understand.
Yes.
So mentorship is very vital in purpose-driven living. Very vital. Now, coming to faith, it is faith that tells you to go through these principles, to live by this core value that is going to pay at the end of the day. It's purpose that gives you the vitality, the strength Do you understand? The enablement,
Faith.
the assurance that you are doing the right thing is faith. Now, belief is something that you just believe in what you are doing, that you are getting there. Just believe in
Even if it
yourself.
doesn't look like it.
Even if it doesn't look like it at the moment. How would you reject bribe of millions of dollars? How would you do that if not faith that you are doing the right thing? Do you understand? Now, God factor. Of course, I say that out of alignment with God is out of alignment with yourself. Once, that is why sometimes when you go to church and allow yourself to be broken, because the Bible says that a broken heart and a contrite heart God will not despise. So once your heart is broken and your spirit is contrite, God will accept you. And once you see yourself in that position, that you know that you're in the same wavelength with God, you see that you have this fulfillment, you have this joy, your passion, your compassion is coming back. Do you know you can live a life where you don't have passion, where you don't have compassion? I mean, your life is just dead. Some people die at the age of 20,
but they live
and get buried by 65 or 70 years.
That's true.
Do you understand? So once you don't have passion and compassion in your life, you're already dead. There is nothing that moves you. There is nothing that moves your spirit to want to contribute, because without contribution, you're not living a purpose-driven life. So purpose-driven life, one of the core values is contribution. It's fulfillment. It's legacy.
We are useful.
Exactly. In the society, in the world,
in your family, in the marketplace.
Now, purpose is just a vast topic. Now that's just mentioned for me. Let me tell you something that I have observed over the years as I was studying the topic of purpose. I discovered that in a family of 5, for instance, where they have siblings of 5, there is always one that is social bomb. Someone, the one that always makes friends for the family. All the family friends that the family ever had, that particular person, he knows or she knows how to, make friends here and there.
And they become family friends.
And even connect people with the mother, connect people with the father, connect people with the sibling, Do you understand? I mean, is the life of every party. Is a social person. He knows how to connect with people in the family. Now, another person is always a prayer warrior, the priest of the family. He's the one or she's the one that's praying for the family. So every spiritual stuff is from that person. There's always another one that is a leader in the family. So that one, before you do anything, he must be around, because the wisdom that comes out of him, just be wondering, do you understand? Is this my father? Is this my grandfather? Do you get? So these are the things. Another one is just a homemaker that makes sure that everywhere is tidied up,
clean and cooks well.
Exactly. So you see a lot of this thing in the family. So the same thing in the company, that is, people have their different exactly. So it happens that way.
So when you're not useful,
oh my God,
there's something wrong somewhere. Every human being is created for a purpose, for a use. You wouldn't God didn't just create you because he was idle, or because he had excess clay to mold you or something.
Earlier in my life, I think I wrote in my journal that the world will be a better place to live if everyone discover their purpose. We live in unsatisfying world. We live in a chaotic world because many people are living a chaotic life. So if everyone is able to discover their purpose, see that everything will align in the world. So most of the world issues and problems will be solved by people who have discovered that their purpose are to solve those issues and problems.
Oh my God, I don't know. I'm almost feeling teary and emotional right now. This is something that happens to me unconsciously. Whenever I see people, whenever I come to a group of persons, and it happens to me whenever I come in contact with either the elderly ones or the younger ones. I'm like, oh, this one was actually meant for a purpose. These children are meant for meant for great destiny and great purpose. It always pokes my heart. To understand that these people are meant for something in life, and I just pray that everybody will just work in alignment with what they are meant for. This is so transformational, and I believe you watching today, you have gained some insights. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. I told you guys he's a man of God, and I believe you can now testify that through he's a man of God, not because he's not in the pulpit having a microphone. He is a man of God in his word. Thank you so much, sir. It's a pleasure having you around.
Thank you for having
me. I hope we see you again at the Exceed Real Vibe podcast.
Sure.
Alright, and to you, my wonderful audience, thank you so much for staying with us. It's an amazing time, and we are glad, and I'm sure you heard some things that must have poked your mind that will give you a reason to think about your life, think about what you're made for, what you are called to do, because this, when you identify it, is to make the world a better place. We are all waiting for your light to shine, and I know this podcast will be a very beautiful beginning to something amazing in your life. Thank you so much. This is the Exceed Real Vibe podcast. Here we vibe and we also exceed. I've been your host, Jennifer Igwe, and please do well to follow us on all our social media platforms. Thank you so much, and see you in the next one. Bye.